Good evening and welcome to Thai Thursday with Todd, your venture into Thai cuisine. Tonight we're going to prepare papaya salad. And papaya salad is a delicious treat, and it can be rather spicy, but you can adjust that spice depending on how much chili you add, and there's some other spices that we'll put in here. I'm going to show you a pretty mild recipe, but it also is going to allow you to add some post-serving, add some other chili in there to kind of spice it up. So it's going to be a couple different stages. The first is we're going to make a paste, a little bit of a paste out of, in this case, we're going to add just one Thai chili. Some long beans, which you can substitute green beans for these if not, but we're going to use long beans, which we found at the Oriental Market. Now these particular long beans are not particularly long. These are a little shorter than what we would normally have, and so normally my recipe for 2 servings of papaya salad calls for 3 long beans. I'm going to put 5 in here because these are a little bit shorter. And then I'm going to put my recipe calls for 2 cloves of garlic, but I've got 1 big one and 1 smaller one, so I'm going to do that. And the first thing is going to be to take these 3 ingredients and mash them up into we have a wooden mortar and pestle here, and we're going to make a little bit of a paste out of those as the first step to our papaya salad. So I'm going to start with the chili. I'm going to I want to get every little bit of it. So I'm going to cut that up into kind of a fine, as small as possible. And so a lot of these ingredients you can kind of mince up because they're going to get sort of destroyed in the mortar and pestle into a paste. So I've got that. And then I'm going to take my garlic and I'm going to first skin that up. I'm going to cut the ends off here. And all right, now I'm going to take this garlic and just really kind of mince it. I think mincing is the correct word. Can I get a judge opinion on that?
That is correct.
Okay, mincing. Here's the long beans. I'm going to take these. I'm just going to trim the edges up a little bit here. Trim these up, and then you can cut the finished product of these long beans, at least before they go into the mortar and pestle, is 3/4 of an inch to an inch. I'm going to cut them a little bit shorter because it just makes the work a little bit easier in the mortar and pestle. All right, so now I've got my 3 ingredients for my paste, and I'm going to take those 3 ingredients. I'm going to put those into my mortar. And it's going to be very interesting because you're going to see what this paste turns into. All right, so we've got our beans, our garlic, and our chili into the mortar. I'm going to put that on a little towel here to give it a little padding from the counter. Then I'm going to take the pestle and I'm just going to start pulverizing this mixture. And you don't want to hit it too hard because you'll end up sort of splashing stuff out of the mortar. But you can see already we've got a little bit of breakdown of the green bean, but you'll see after a while, this will take a good probably 5 or 10 minutes to get it to the point where we want it. Let's take a look at this. So I'm gonna get a rubber spatula, kind of just to show you what this looks like. And you can see it's very, I mean, can't smell it on the video, but it's great. You can smell the flavor out of that, especially the garlic here. So there's our mixture. I think that's pretty good, and for us to continue on to the next step. So we've got our mixture of long bean, garlic, and Thai chili in here, kind of pulverized in the mortar and pestle. And now it's time to add a few more ingredients. We're gonna start with palm sugar. This is something that typically would not be available. We found it at an Oriental market here. So for 2 servings here, and the recipe calls for 1 tablespoon, 3 teaspoons, 1 tablespoon of palm sugar. The next ingredient is fish sauce, and we had this same fish sauce we used in our curry the other night. And fish sauce for this recipe, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons, not to be confused with tablespoons. Do not add 2 tablespoons. Next thing is a lime, and I'm going to actually add a half a lime to this for 2 portions of papaya salad. So I'm going to put that in our juicer here, and then I'm going to add that to our mortar. So the next ingredient is tamarind sauce. And for this, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of tamarind sauce. The next ingredient is probably the biggest ingredient that you want to make sure that you observe the tablespoon-teaspoon difference, and that is shrimp paste. And shrimp paste is something that is probably only going to be found at an Oriental market. But this is some shrimp paste that I actually purchased in Thailand. But it's got a very interesting smell to it. If you smelled it directly, you'd wonder why you're putting that in your food you're eating. But it does add some flavor, so you want to make sure you put the right amount in. But I would say go ahead and give it a little smell, just to kind of see what the interesting flavor is. But it ends up in a lot of dishes. I'm putting half a teaspoon of this shrimp paste into our mixture here. So now we've got those ingredients in there, and I'm going to use the mortar, or the pestle, sorry, to kind of mix these together and do a little more pulverizing of some of those other ingredients like the long beans and such. But it's really just to get this stuff all kind of mixed in there together. So that's what we look like right now. Definitely with the lime juice especially, it's got a lot more sort of liquidity to it. All right, so time for the papaya and the carrots. All right, so now we're gonna add some carrot to our mortar, and what I'm gonna do is just cut the ends off this carrot. And then the first thing I'm gonna do is take the vegetable peeler, and I'm going to kind of peel the outer skin off the carrot. someone in the audience had their phone turned up. So I've got that sort of peeled down. And then I'm going to take the julienne peeler. I'm not sure what the technical name for this is, but it's a different kind of peeler, and it'll actually create sort of these slivers of carrot as opposed to the vegetable peeler. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to take that carrot and I'm going to add that directly into our mortar. And I'm going to give that a little bit of a stir here. You get the carrot kind of soaking up in that mixture that we already have. All right, so we're ready to add our papaya, the main ingredient here of our papaya salad. This is a green papaya. Should be available possibly at a normal grocery store. We bought this at the Oriental Market, but we've seen them at the standard American market. Now, what I found is about 1/4 of a papaya this size works well for 2 portions of papaya salad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half to quarter it. It's already, obviously this one's already been, half of it's already been used. So I got 1/4 left. And then I'm going to, I've already knocked some of the seeds out of the middle of it. But then I'm going to take my vegetable peeler and I'm going to peel the outer skin off. So then once the papaya is peeled, I'm then going to take my julienne peeler and I'm going to just julienne this thing. And I'm going to, so this is going to kind of create those sort of, I guess, spaghetti-like pieces of papaya. So now I've got the papaya in the mortar, and now I'm just gonna do a couple things. One, I'm gonna mix this up a little bit just to get some of that lime juice and the rest of our concoction kind of spread around. And then this is a kind of a custom step, a little culinary secret by yours truly. Instead of just mixing this around, I like to take the pestle and kind of beat it a little bit because that seems to infuse the papaya and the carrot with a little bit of that rest of that paste that we've got down there. Not too hard because you don't want to smash the papaya totally, but enough to kind of mix it and get that all of that sort of paste and liquid that we made earlier kind of spread out throughout there. So I'm going to go back through one more time and kind of mix this together. Now, there's another step here. We have, and that is to add some diced tomatoes to it. So you would take a tomato and kind of dice it up and into chunks. And then the final step would be to take that tomato and add it to this mixture and then just mix it with a spoon or a spatula. We're not going to do that tonight for a couple reasons. One, just for time. We know everybody's time is valuable, but 2, we don't have any tomatoes. So we're going to skip that step, but that's not going to necessarily detract from our papaya salad. So this is it. We're going to dish it up, and then we'll add we'll slice up some of these beautiful Thai chilies, and those who like something a little bit spicier can add those. And then we're also going to garnish it with, after it's plated, we're gonna garnish it with some chopped dry roasted peanuts. So we'll do that next. All right, we're back, ready for the plating of our papaya salad. And again, we don't have our diced tomatoes in here, but no problem, it's still gonna be very good. And so really, I'm just gonna make sure that this is thoroughly mixed. Some of the recipes that I've seen call for more lime juice than this, and I've really cut the lime back. And one of the things is because it's, you know, this is a half a lime for 2 servings, and it actually is a lot. Even after this, a lot of the lime juice will be left in the mortar. So I'm gonna go ahead and dish this up. Couple things to add. One is we have an option to add some more chili. So this is kind of chopped up Thai chili. I'm going to add that to one of these only. And so, you know, it adds a little bit of flavor to it. A little spicy, a little heat to it. And then the other thing is to add a little unsalted dry roasted peanuts. So these are chopped up, and we can kind of spread those up here on top. And that gives it a nice little garnishment. So that's it. Papaya salad. Favorite dish here and a favorite dish in Thailand. Very refreshing for a summer or winter night.